Welcome to the Beyond Dimensional podcast. We're your hosts, Liz and Lori. We're here to blend our spiritual experience with major curiosity and plenty of profanity, guiding you through ancient wisdom and modern practices. But listener, beware. We are foul-mouthed, opinionated, and no topic is off limits. So jump on your broomstick, bitches. We're going Beyond Dimensional. We are here. We are live and in color. Welcome to our first episode of Beyond Dimensional. We are your hosts. I'm Liz.
I'm Lori.
Yay! We did it.
Yay.
We pressed record, guys. We did a bunch of testing. I don't know. We finally think we got this right, but you may see different iterations of us on different episodes as we try to get this perfect.
I'm a medium, not an editor or recording specialist or music artist of any kind. So
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you.
IT is not our specialty.
I mean, I can't even hook up a printer, but anyway, that's another topic altogether. So.
Oh Lord, let's not get started. We digress. So welcome to our first episode. We're super excited to jump in and to start telling you guys all about what it is that brought us here, tell you a little bit about each of us and our journeys separately, and then how we kind of jumped into this adventure together. So I guess I'm already talking. You'll notice that I do that a lot. I guess that's good for a podcast. So I'm Liz. I am not what you would call a witch by any means, a power, an energy healer, gift person. I have been told I am a highly intuitive being, for whatever that means, but for the most part, I'm pretty skeptical about it all.
Sensitive.
I'm sensitive. In so many ways. Cancer moon makes me sensitive. A whole other thing. Yeah, I guess I should have started with that, guys. I'm Liz. I'm a Leo sun with a Virgo rising and a Cancer moon. And whoever knows what that means, please let me know, because I'm still learning.
If I know. I'm also not an astrologer. So
yeah,
we need guests that are astrologers, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Many different humans with many different understandings, and there's different types of astrology and different it's all craziness. Yeah, but you know, Lori and we met a couple of years ago. We started working for the same company. Lori is my boss.
I'm not just bossy.
So we fell in love with each other in a platonic way. And just our energies vibed, our beings were like, hey, we want to be buddies. So we just quickly attached to each other in a very intentional way. And I think part of that was because 2 years later, we were meant to start this podcast for you all, if you can believe it. Here we are. We are exploring what spirituality, what energy is, what, gifts are, what witchcraft is. The reason being that Lori is someone blessed with gifts, and she's been so kind as to start to introduce me to what that means. But we're both very open-minded. We're both very like, what the fuck is really going on with everybody, right? We don't know what is truth, what is real, what is science, what is, make-believe, but what is still being discovered. And we want to be those people, because we are just real humans in the world, just trying to exist with each other and with everybody else. So I think I'll kind of start off with that point, and we can kind of dive deeper in there, but Lori can kind of tell her side of that point of view, and we'll just jump into whatever the fuck we get into today.
My side of all of that. Okay. So look, I have been lucky enough to explore some gifts over the last few years. Some which, I think I had when I was a kid, popped up here and there. A lot of it's new, though. I think once you start really digging into your intuition and other things and start listening to yourself, you kind of get new abilities. And I don't know that that's necessarily a spiritual thing. If it's just a human thing. I think we all have the potential to have great intuition, to really develop, psychic gifts or mediumship gifts or all the other gifts in the world. I'm so fascinated by all the shit that other people can do that I absolutely cannot do.
Totally.
Like it boggles my mind how many things are out there. And when I say things, right, from a spiritual perspective, dimensions, right? Like I never heard of different dimensions until a couple of years ago. And I'm like, what the fuck is the fifth dimension, the fourth dimension? We're living in the third dimension. I have no fucking idea what any of that means, but I'd like to know.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand it,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah, they say there's three, so there gotta be more. We don't know.
Listen, aliens, witch doctors, healers, crystal readers, crystal holders, crystal owner. I don't know. Anyway, there's so many things out there. So for me, you know, having met you and in the time period that I did, it was great because I got to kind of practice a little. You're so open to me using you as a guinea pig for my little secret things that might come up once in a while. But now I want to learn more. I mean, I want to learn more about you. I want to learn more about me. I want to learn more about other people. And how the fuck do we survive in this really wild place in the third dimension, I guess, on Earth, I guess. I mean, maybe we're really on fucking Mars. I don't know, fucking idea. I mean, who knows, right? Is the Earth round? Is it flat? Is it geometric? Does it shapeshift? I mean, I don't know, right? So I'd love to just spend some time with you digging into all that shit and whatever else comes up.
So if you haven't noticed by now, whoever is listeners,
Besides my parents, my daughter, you know, my cousins,
all of our friends and family listening from back home, you know, we're not woo-woo people. We are not those who you're going to come to and hear, come listen to us. We're going to help you heal all of your energetic trauma and move forward and find enlightenment. Like, that is not what we are here for. If you want to get fucking down and dirty and just try to discover shit, try to understand, question it. Like I said, skeptical as fuck. I don't know if any of this is real. I need tangible proof, or at least like a good theory. I need a good understanding that makes sense in what my mind is going to really truly be able to wrap itself around before I'm going to just blatantly believe in something. So if you're wanting to go on this road with us and just throw shit on the wall and see what sticks, take what you want and leave the rest. We're going to definitely dive in with a lot of experts, or what they, you know, experts. I use that term very loosely because, again, we want to question, we want to learn, we want to just see what feels good for our own understandings. Lori and I may not agree on some of these things. I may be like, Lori, you sound like a fucking lunatic, and she might be like, well, fuck you, Liz, you're an asshat. That is, both of those may be true.
all of the above, all of the above,
A, B, C, D, all of the above. But yeah, that's kind of what we're here for.
1000%. I'm totally with you. I am not a faith-based human being. Religion always fucked me from that perspective, right? Like, I wanted to be a good Christian. I tried them all. I was like, let me find one, right? And no offense to anyone who loves that shit. I'll pretend like I care and I don't want to offend anyone because really I don't care, but I'm going to try to pretend. Anyway, none of it ever worked for me because I'm like, first of all, Jesus can't be a white man in the Middle East. That doesn't work. It makes no fucking sense in my brain, right? Like, the Bible was written and it was never tampered with or adapted because God wouldn't allow it. Like, get the fuck out. I can't, whatever. So that said, with any gifts that I have, that others have, it's really hard to wrap my brain around it and understand how it can be true. I constantly question myself, even when I read people, and I've gotten a lot better at it, but it's easy to go, wait a minute, can that be real? Is what I'm seeing actually something I'm seeing? Am I making that shit up? Am I crazy? Schizophrenic? I don't fucking know. Anyway, all of that stuff, I just want to dig into it. I think it's going to be really, really exciting. Can't wait to find some amazing guests to have on the show and listen to what other people experience. And like you said, take it, leave it, fuck off. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Absolutely. So to give our audience a little understanding of who we are, Lori, I want to learn more about your gifts. I want to make everyone understand what happens for you when we talk about being a witch and being an energy healer and being a medium. You identify as a medium, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yes. I mean, listen, I have all kinds of shit that goes on. I don't know what all of it's called. We'll have a guest on, you know, our first or second or third podcast, hopefully, that can help me decipher some of this stuff, someone that I've worked with before. But mediumship, from the way that I experience it, is being able to connect with people that have passed. Some people see, like, literally through their vision, as mediums, like spirits and form and all that, I don't have that. I don't see visually things. Everything is downloaded in my brain as a picture, but I also channel, which there is no download, there's no picture.
Yeah.
I just talk. Like they give me information, it comes out. I don't filter it at all through my own brain or thought, and I can't remember after the fact what was really said or what the detail was because it just goes through. Not like on Ghost, like I don't even know if you're that old. Like I'm an old lady,
Yes.
but Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, right?
I love that movie.
Oh my God, somebody takes over her body and they channel through her. That's not what happens. Okay, your relatives are not taking over my body.
That we know of.
I mean, shit, who knows, right? No, I've never experienced it. No one's ever told me. Fuck, who knows? Anyway, but it's just it's a different thing. I mean, being psychic, like I never thought I was psychic, but I do have things that some people consider to be psychic. I can definitely get information about events that are upcoming for other people, things that might happen, but not like in 6 months. I think an earthquake is going to happen in Peru at a 5.2 magnitude. I don't fucking know any of that.
Right.
Imagine
if you could though, like you'd be a fucking billionaire.
Yeah, but I'm not Nostradamus. Nostradamus. Or Dolores Cannon, brilliant hypnotherapist that got all this information about. Do you know about her? We're gonna have to talk. Okay. We'll have to do an episode on Dolores Cannon, who our friend Chris introduced me to. Super wild. Anyway,
channel her.
I don't know. I haven't tried. Maybe if we can contact one of her relatives and they can like let me read them, I bet I could. I can't just go, hey, Betty Davis.
That'd be cool.
What's up? That'd be great. Like Kurt Cobain. Like I would have so much fun with the people. Can you imagine JFK?
Oh, you'd have a blast with Kurt Cobain.
I love him. But people can do that shit. It's just not me. Tyler Henry, he is really amazing. He has a Netflix show. I think it was him that channeled Betty Davis even.
That's
wild.
Like,
it's like, seriously, he gets these. I don't, listen, maybe someday.
Is he though? Is he like, maybe he's just a really great actor. Maybe he's just like, legit. He's like Betty Davis and like does an impression of Betty Davis.
Watch it.
Okay.
Definitely whoever has not seen it, check it out. He's pretty rad. He also draws, like I auto write. Yeah. Which is just a free form, thing before I talk to someone. Mine looks like a kindergartner learning to color with charcoal with some letters and symbols and things. His is like artwork. He puts it on a wall. It's beautiful. It looks like things. I don't have that, So people got stuff. I don't have it. What else do I have? I mean, I don't know. Channeling, mediumship, remote viewing. Do you know what remote viewing is? Okay.
I could guess, but why don't you tell us?
Well, if I'm looking for you, let's say I want to communicate with you. So I think about you and then I can see where you are and what you're doing in real time.
Oh yeah. Okay. Like on a laptop.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, but it's like you could view into someone else's screen essentially, like what they're where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, but I don't do that much because that's creepy, right? Like, who the fuck wants me snooping around their personal life, zooming into their CVS purchase? I mean,
cool. I mean, how long's your receipt today? How many coupons did you get?
How much waste is there in that receipt, really?
I hate them. And they also, anyway, that's a whole other thing. The fucking CVS receipt. It's long as fuck. No one cares about them. But there's so much good stuff on there. And it's like, they give you a discount for the shit you just bought. And then they tell you have a week to buy them.
It's a fucking scheme.
All of it is. It's so fucked up.
Anyway.
But that remote viewing thing, back to that.
How does it work? Like it was a government thing we used to use. I don't know. I can't remember. I saw a documentary on it.
It's like being invisible. It's like having the gift to be invisible.
Like being a spy.
Yes. That's fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Wait, are you telling me that the government used to use people with the gift of remote viewing?
Yes.
That's fucking nuts. There's just so much historical shit wrapped around in all of these things is like no one even knows about. It's wild.
Yeah, totally.
But that's what's really cool too, is if you think about I was just thinking about like the world wars and how the governments have played with with the different things where, using psychedelics and stuff, or like different truth serums and different fucked up drugs. When you think about spirituality and gifts and different things where it can be seen as, like you mentioned even before, you were like, is it schizophrenia? We don't know, but we do. Like there is a matter of like when people take psychedelics or they're like on peyote or they're doing, what's the other one?
Oh, I know. I don't know. Like you got some drug stuff to share, but that's a whole other episode. Anyway, continue.
Dropped acid one time. It's not that.
Anyway.
And I want to talk to somebody like who understands neurology, but you know,
Yeah.
the brain, we only use a certain percentage of our brain. Like all of us use our brains in different ways, and we have different strengths and weaknesses, and like people are more left-sided versus right-sided and all that weird shit. But when you use psychedelics, it opens up different parts of your brain, the activity that happens there. And people say they see things and they visualize things, and they have like when they come out of it, their minds are expanded and like all of that shit. There must be people who don't need to use those things that already have that access to those parts of your brain, which makes this, to me, again, another way for me to use logic and reason to make this make sense. That's fucking cool.
But I also wonder, like, once you do it and expands a part of your brain, does it stay like that?
For some.
I mean, that's a question, right? For somebody. Yeah.
But
like, I did mushrooms one time, and I did have a very wild experience, but I don't think it opened my brain permanently, or fuck you call it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you'd probably have to do a lot of it. And I think that's why people keep going back to do those things.
Yeah, so we need a drug expert, somebody who has like done it all, opened their brain. Maybe they've like done all that and then they did a brain scan and they can tell us about it. Also, Tyler Henry, Hollywood medium, they did a scan of his brain and showed how his brain was so much different than average people. Ooh, maybe I need a brain scan.
See?
They'll just like, you're thoroughly fucked up. It's clear. Like, wow.
But that's what's fascinating to me. Like, I want to see a version of your brain when you're just like at work and functioning in normal society. And then when you're doing a reading and like channeling shit, like what parts of your brain are being activated at different moments, because that's really telling. I think that's cool. That's the shit that I can get around. Right.
Yeah, because there's an explanation.
Right.
That's not based on faith. It connects to something that's logical or data based.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. There is a theory that is being proven in that moment of like a scientific understanding of how the brain works. And it's not to say that like all of this has to have that answer. I think there's always going to be things that are, question marks.
Yeah.
Especially in our lifetime. We're not going to live long enough for all these answers, but I think they're enough to at least feel like we understand that it all could be completely real.
One of the things when I was first reading people that helped me get past you're just fucking schizophrenic or mentally unstable or you have an imagination or you're making the shit up is it's the stuff I see can be proven by the person. Like if I say, your grandmother used to always walk around with a butterfly brooch and a specific hat and with a specific picture in her pocket. And I'm just talking. Most of the time, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's fucking true. Sometimes you'll be like, I have no idea. Let me call my mom. My mom's like, oh my God, that's fucking true. Or sometimes they're like, fuck off. You have no idea what you're talking about. And then a year later, they message me like, oh my God, that did happen. Right.
Yeah.
But that's proven. It is true or not true.
Yeah.
To an extent. Does that make sense?
Totally. I mean, that's partly why I've decided to do this with you, Lori. Like there are certain, I think most of the people that I know in my life who are gifted, I take very seriously. And you're one of those people who, whereas I would have been more skeptical before, the more I spend time with you and the more things I watch you do in terms of your reading and your channeling in those moments, I'm watching people have legitimate reactions that are like, how did you know that? And it's because there's so much stigma around like the woo-woo psychics and like, oh, they walk in and like you're watching something and everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, well, they said, like, I'm getting the letter B. And they go, okay, well, I mean, I had a dog named Bubba. And they go, yes, it's Bubba. And like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like crazy, weird bullshit. You're so much more grounded in your understanding of things. You don't go off on like random weird tangents about, you're like, oh, I see this. And then you wait for someone to confirm. Then you're like, yes, it's that. So you're like, hey, I'm getting this. I don't know if it means anything to you, but that's what I'm hearing. And then they go, oh my God. Like, how
Yeah.
did you know? You're like, that's just what's coming. Like, I can't, you can interpret it how you want to interpret it. This is what I'm understanding. And then, yeah, people may attach things to what you're saying, and maybe they have no actual meaning, but they are they're putting a meaning on, and that's still important. It's still legitimate help for healing. I know a lot of the stuff like the channeling that you do is to help people heal from trauma or like generational, things that have happened or whatever. I don't know where I was going with that, to be totally honest.
I get it.
You're legitimate is what I'm saying.
I'm something. I don't know what the fuck I am, but it's very interesting. It's like for me, I can feel other people's emotions, or like I can walk in a room and start getting anxious, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I've learned that it's not my anxiety. It's actually someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend who I worked with at my last company who is a psychic medium. His name is James. Hopefully James will come on the show. But he was the one who helped me learn what that was. And like, I'm like, I need anxiety drugs and I need antidepressants and I need all these things, which, listen, not gonna lie, that's also true. But the whole feeling of walking into a room and going, I'm gonna vomit all of a sudden, and being able to go, oh my God, it's not me who needs to vomit, it's someone else. Or getting claustrophobic. And I'm like, why is this happening? I'm not claustrophobic. I feel fine. It's somebody else's. And that's where the gift is not necessarily a gift until you learn what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of years just completely fucked up. Why am I feeling like this for no reason? What is wrong with me? I must be crazy. Again, definitely, legitimately, I'm a nutcase. Absolutely no question. But not all of it's mine.
Yeah, no, but that's super fascinating and that's where like it makes sense to me too, is like, even though some people might be like, okay, yeah, you're feeling someone else's shit, but that's real. Like you can feel other people's energy.
Yeah, not just me, other people can do it.
Yeah, like energy it exists as it is. There's no energy any more energy being created. It all just exists in the universe. This has been proven, understood in science, right? Yep. Energy is just transferred. So like food is actually calories, which is a form of energy. When you eat an apple, that apple is being broken down and its energy is being recycled in your body to use for your own energy to expend, right? So when we're talking about people's emotions and, how those affect the energy of a room, like everyone's human has, a magnetic field and a vibe and an energetic pulse. And so when you are surrounding yourself with people like you who are very sensitive to those things or magnetized by it, of course they're going to vibrate in you differently. Anyway, the point is, energy exists. I think if you were going to talk about, dimensions, which right now is being explored scientifically. Like if anyone's watched Interstellar, or the show Dark Matter, or any comic book, movie, we're talking about different timelines and, what is it? Loki's show. I don't know if you've watched it, but you don't know, this is fascinating. I would love to have you sit and watch all these things. But Interstellar, you're talking about existing in different planes of existence at the same time. Like there has to be, because there's so much imagination around it. Eventually science catches up with our imagination or our rising of these concepts. So it makes total sense to me that if we're in the third dimension and, someone who's passed is in the fourth or fifth or however many dimensions, we're all overlapped. We just don't have the ability to see it. When you think about it, like other animals on the planet have different ways that they see things. They can see, through heat or through sonar or whatever the fuck it is. Even though humans can't do that, doesn't mean that it's not an ability.
Okay, so I don't know if you were in this conversation. It happened at work. We're talking about the Jetsons.
No, I don't think I was.
Okay, so if you think about, and again, I'm old. Do you know what the Jetsons are, right? You probably didn't watch the Jetsons, but like
I watched them. I love the Jetsons, the Flintstones, the Jetsons.
So think about all that was in the Jetsons that's real now. Like who wrote that show, right? Like there's just shit that predicts things randomly even in shows that are, I don't know, 30, 40 years, I don't know, but Lucy the robots and like the television Zoom type thing and
Yeah.
all the shit we're doing, it was literally in the fucking Jetsons.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that like our imaginations, they like Star Wars, even like anything from like the Jetsons is a good example. They theorized that these things could be possible, and then people said, okay, how do we make them possible? And then technology just has to catch up with what we are able to imagine. So it's really, I mean, Three Body Problem is a new show out right now that deals with this too. We've got aliens coming to Earth, and they're like the communication that they have, and how we receive a message on Earth saying that these aliens are coming to Earth, but we know from how far away they are, it's going to take 400 years for them to get here. So it's like this big philosophical question of, does everyone on Earth now give a shit? And do we do something to try and use current science and current understandings to try to get to them? And like, how do we advance ourselves faster? So it's like once we start asking the questions, we start finding the answers because we are imagining what could happen, discover what our B, C, D is, and we go, okay, how do we get from A to there? We just make it.
Fucking fascinating. Can't wait to like speak to people who have insight and information on all these topics far beyond what my little pea brain can even imagine.
Well, your pea brain probably uses a lot more of its abilities than mine, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's going to be a wild ride.
Wild.
I'm stoked.
Love it.
Well,
here we go. Here we are. Here we go. Next time on Beyond Dimensional, we'll talk about something else.
Maybe.
Interesting, but I don't know what yet because we'll see. I mean, more to come.
Hell yeah. Let's fucking do it.
All right. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Beyond Dimensional podcast. To our knowledge, no witches, aliens, ghosts, or other entities were harmed in this dimension or any others during the recording of this episode. If you enjoyed Beyond Dimensional, subscribe wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Beyond Dimensional Podcast. See you next time, bitches.